how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said, contact light, engine stop, and a few other things, and then Neil said, Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed.
For years, people believed they knew the truth about the moon. But now, after decades of silence, Buzz Aldrin, the legendary astronaut who walked on the moon, has made a revelation of what he saw during the Apollo 11 mission. What could this mystery be, and why has Buzz kept it hidden for so long? Join us to find out the silent weight of the moon. When discussing the moon, Buzz Aldrin's voice carries a sense of profoundness and tranquility, almost as if it originates from a different realm. His demeanor is not that of someone simply reminiscing about a triumphant moment, but rather of someone burdened with feelings of both pride and sadness. The experience he has had is rare, and the ability to articulate it even rarer among men on this planet. For over 50 years, he has been haunted by the memory he dubbed magnificent desolation. In numerous interviews with various media outlets, from TV networks to popular magazines, Aldrin has revealed glimpses of this intense feeling. There are moments when a smile spreads across his face as he reminisces about the leisurely bouncing strides on the bleak dust. Conversely, his voice quivers with emotion when he recounts the turning point of gazing back at Earth, a mere tiny luminous orb adrift in a vast, infinite void. He mentioned that the scenery was stunning, but it also evoked a deep sense of isolation. As he stood in that unfamiliar place, he had a profound realization about the fragile nature of life. The quietness surrounding him was completely foreign to him. It was a silence devoid of any familiar sounds or movements, just pure tranquility. This type of stillness seemed to weigh heavily on his heart, not bringing peace, but rather a sense of being overwhelmed. In the year 2019, on the 50th anniversary of Apollo 11, cameras recorded a moment that took many by surprise. Aldrin, when asked by a reporter about the most memorable part of the mission, hesitated, and his eyes filled with tears as he responded with just one word: the silence. This simple word conveyed a multitude of emotions. To Aldrin, that silence represented more than just the lack of noise. It symbolized a profound presence. It made him reflect on the fragility and insignificance of human life when confronted by the immense emptiness of space. The moon landing represented achievement for the world, showcasing the power of science, bravery, and persistence. However, for the individuals who experienced it firsthand, the experience was profound and multi-layered. It wasn't just a moment of victory, it was a moment of enlightenment. Aldrin's emotions were not born out of fear or sorrow. They stemmed from a deep sense of comprehension and realization. As he stood on the moon, farther away from Earth than anyone had ever been, he felt a profound connection to the essence of existence. Picture yourself in a location so quiet that you can hear the sound of your own breath. The horizon gently curves in front of you. The sky above is a void of darkness, devoid of stars. Your shadow stretches endlessly, disappearing into the dust. At that instant, even the sound of your heartbeat seems overwhelming. Aldrin likened it to a sensation of vertigo, not the anxiety of falling, but the sensation of being confronted with eternity. He came to understand that the moon was indifferent to his presence, and somehow, within that serene apathy, he discovered a peculiar tranquility. However, the sense of peace he found on the moon did not stay with him once he returned home. Instead, he was left with a heavy burden, a weighty reminder of his experience that lingered with him constantly. Aldrin found himself grappling with the challenges of fame, pressure to meet certain expectations, and the quest to find significance in his life. While the moon provided him with a clear sense of direction and purpose, it also stripped away the certainty and comfort of ignorance. He once confessed that coming back to normal life was a challenge after witnessing something so immense. Suddenly, mundane things like grocery stores, traffic lights, and daily routines seemed trivial and ludicrous. Once you have beheld infinity, it is hard to be bothered by minor annoyances. People who encountered Aldrin in his later life frequently mentioned his dual nature. There was the meticulous engineer, sharp and exact, but also the contemplative philosopher who exuded a sense of melancholy. Beneath his impressive technical skills lay a man who had been deeply impacted by his experiences. When inquired about the true significance of the moon to him, he responded with a gentle grin. He explained that the moon is more than just a physical object made of rock and dust. To him, it serves as a reflection of oneself, a mirror that reveals one's true essence when gazed upon. His emotions remain strong when he talks about it, maybe because the moon revealed the truth by dispelling all illusions of power, permanence, and control. His tears are not a sign of weakness. They represent understanding and acceptance of human nature in its simplest form, small, inquisitive, and fleeting. Aldrin stood on the quiet moon's surface and came to the realization that true exploration is not about dominating uncharted territories, but rather about comprehending our role within them. Instead of viewing the moon as a mystery to unravel, he saw it as a mirror in which to confront our existence. Even after all these years, he still holds on to that truth deep within him. Each year, every time he shows up in public, it feels like the old wound is opened again, bringing back memories of the silence that once engulfed him. The moon has never really released its hold on him. "You can never really escape the moon," he whispered once. "It lingers with you, hiding somewhere in the depths of your gaze." Perhaps individuals experience a certain sensation when listening to him talk. The moon does not possess a secret that is too dreadful to disclose. Rather, it discloses too many truths about humanity, our desire to surpass our limitations, and our delicate optimism in seeking significance in the cosmos. But all these thoughts and confessions were ignited by the ultimate mission, landing on the moon. So what was it like? Stay with us. The journey that changed the world. In 1969, Buzz Aldrin wasn't known for his mystique or contemplative nature. Prior to that, he was known for his logical thinking and precise actions, a skilled pilot, a proficient engineer, and a man molded by years of education, practice, and rigorous military regimen. However, his perspective shifted drastically after the events that unfolded. The moon, once just a goal for him, took on a deeper significance as a reflection of humanity's essence. The Apollo 11 mission was not driven by sentiment. It was based on facts, bravery, and faith. Each statistic, each math problem, and each pulse was significant. On the 16th of July, a multitude of individuals gathered close to the Kennedy Space Center to observe the event that would go down in history as a monumental achievement. Over 1 million people stood on beaches, streets, and building tops, gazing at the massive Saturn V rocket. Across the globe, countless others tuned into radios and TVs, their hearts pounding with excitement. It was a unique event that brought together a diverse group of people, including military officials, diplomats, government officials, and regular families, all with a common goal of witnessing humanity's advancement beyond Earth. Accommodations in Florida were reserved well in advance, and journalists crowded the area, focusing their cameras on the towering rocket, a representation of bravery and vulnerability. The president, along with former astronauts who had experienced similar peril, observed the proceedings from the White House. It appeared as though the entire globe was collectively holding its breath in anticipation. As the countdown reached zero, the atmosphere was engulfed in flames and echoing booms. The Saturn V spacecraft ascended gradually before soaring into the sky, drawing a path of exhaust and aspirations. Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and Michael Collins were confined within the cramped capsule, encircled by panels of controls, flashing indicators, and the constant buzz of vital support systems. Despite its compact size akin to that of a contemporary automobile, the potential of humanity was encapsulated within. Aldrin was well prepared for this moment, with every experience in his life leading up to it. His background as a former Air Force pilot and the first astronaut to earn a doctorate equipped him with exceptional training. Contributing to the design of maneuvers to reach the moon was thanks to his expertise in orbital mechanics. Within NASA, he was nicknamed Dr. Rendezvous due to his ability to remain composed in times of chaos and uncertainty. Aldrin viewed the moon as a numerical target rather than a mysterious entity. However, the impact of space on one's perspective is profound and transformative. For a period of 3 days, they journeyed through the profound quiet of the cosmos. There were no twinkling stars to be seen, just an infinite void interrupted by the soft blue radiance of Earth in the distance. Upon reaching lunar orbit, the Apollo 11 team observed Earth vanishing behind the moon's dull outline. During a brief interlude of silence, they found themselves cut off from communication with mission control. It marked a moment of utter seclusion. Never before had humanity experienced such solitude. Next was the descent, which was considered the riskiest phase of the mission. The lunar module, Eagle, detached from the command module and initiated its gradual and careful descent towards the surface. The 12 agonizing minutes seemed to stretch on endlessly. Alarms from the computer blared, indicating potential issues. The fuel levels were dangerously low. Commander Armstrong took over manual control, ensuring the delicate spacecraft was headed towards a secure landing spot, while Aldrin calmly communicated altitude and fuel data. After years of dedication, commitment, and taking chances, Armstrong's composed voice broke through the radio to declare their accomplishment. While the globe rejoiced in cheers, the cramped spacecraft remained in peaceful tranquility. Peering out the small window, Aldrin gazed at the shimmering surface below and remarked on its stunning beauty. 048 to 058. Despite his calm demeanor, something was changing inside him, a revelation that transcended any visual image. After several hours passed, the opportunity arose to venture outside. The narrow and delicate ladder to the surface of the moon required cautious and calculated steps. As Aldrin made his way onto the moon following Armstrong, the achievement that the world witnessed seemed almost surreal to him. To Aldrin, it was like entering a masterpiece, a serene and luminous terrain that seemed almost impossible. The ground beneath his feet was both gentle and solid, while the brightness of the light was intense without any atmosphere to lessen it. The shadows appeared to extend endlessly in every direction. Aldrin, with his strong faith, carried a special communion kit from his church when he left the lunar module. In the solitude of the moon, he quietly poured wine into a cup, expressing gratitude for being a part of a larger existence. This sacred act marked the first time a sacrament was observed outside of Earth, symbolizing a moment of humble appreciation between man and the cosmos. Upon entering the surface simultaneously, Aldrin and Armstrong moved with a gentle and elegant rhythm, reminiscent of dancers in a fantastical reverie. The lunar gravity, much weaker than Earth's, gave their movements a sense of ease and fluidity. They proceeded with precision, gathering samples, positioning instruments, and proudly displaying the American flag. Despite its symbolic significance, the flag struggled to remain upright, only able to be inserted a few inches into the firm ground. Aldrin worried it might topple over in front of the millions viewing on TV, but it managed to stay standing for a brief moment. With a mix of pride and contemplation, Aldrin saluted the flag with conviction. While they were busy completing the task, the president's voice could be heard on the radio giving a short, sincere message congratulating them on their achievement. At that instant, it felt like the whole world was coming together as one. National boundaries, political differences, and social divisions all seemed to fade away, leaving only a sense of shared amazement. For over 2 hours, they walked on the moon, capturing images and collecting memories. The footprints they left behind would last for hundreds of years. Aldrin referred to this experience as both a task and a creative endeavor. They were crafting a legacy with each movement, symbolizing bravery and optimism. As Aldrin prepared to leave, he gazed at the vast gray expanse, the dark sky, and the distant blue earth. The scene was both enchanting and eerie, serene, yet desolate. He understood that no matter how advanced technology became, this experience would always be incomparable. A world united in honor. Upon the Apollo 11 crew's arrival back on Earth, people around the globe rejoiced. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins were seen as icons of bravery and optimism, rather than just astronauts. On the 13th of August in 1969, crowds gathered in cities like New York City and Chicago to welcome them with enthusiasm. The atmosphere was filled with jubilant cheers, confetti, and sheer happiness. It was a momentous occasion where the previously unthinkable had become reality, leaving the world astounded. On that night, a lavish banquet took place in Los Angeles at the Century Plaza Hotel. The event was graced by senators, many state leaders, and diplomats from more than 80 countries. The trio of space travelers were presented with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the most esteemed award given to civilians in America. At that instant, any distinctions between people seemed to disappear. Individuals from all across the globe gazed upwards, feeling a sense of unity in the accomplishment of humanity. The acknowledgement did not stop with that. During September, the team addressed Congress and showcased two American flags, one for the House of Representatives and the other for the Senate. These flags had traveled to the moon on the Eagle alongside them. This act served as a touching reminder that the mission was not just about an individual or a single country, but rather about the collective aspirations of humanity extending to the heavens. The festivities extended worldwide. Astronauts embarked on the Giant Leap Tour, spanning over 38 days, and stopping in 22 nations to express appreciation. In cities like Mexico City, Paris, Sydney, and Tokyo, large groups assembled, enthusiastically welcoming the astronauts as if they were beloved companions. People of different backgrounds, including leaders, royalty, and youth, came together in amazement and unity. Wherever they traveled, countries showed their appreciation. Unique stamps, coins, and medals were produced to commemorate the accomplishment. Popular publications such as Time, Life, and National Geographic featured the astronauts on their front pages, giving their images to a wider audience. Even decades afterwards, these special items continued to be valued as symbols of optimism, bravery, and exploration. So what did Aldrin see on the moon? Let's find out. What Buzz Aldrin truly saw on the moon. Heroes were observed across the globe. Parades, medals, and countless news stories praised mankind's most remarkable achievement. However, for Buzz Aldrin, what remained with him after all the commotion disappeared was not the recognition or the ovation, but a profound silence. This silence, which he brought back with him from a location that most could not fathom, stayed with him long after the celebrations had ended. The goal was achieved. They accomplished what was deemed unattainable by many. However, the expedition had a profound impact on Aldrin that could not be quantified. He remarked that they set out to the moon as technicians, but returned as observers. There was a transformation within him. The voyage created a divide between science and spirituality. He had journeyed beyond any other human before, but what truly lingered in his mind wasn't the risks, the miles covered, or the satisfaction of succeeding. It was a profound sense of insignificance. He would eventually learn that the moon was not meant to be conquered, but rather to be comprehended. When he set foot on the unfamiliar land, he was burdened with the legacy of human progress. However, upon his departure, he carried with him a greater burden, the realization of life's delicate nature. Aldrin consistently viewed the universe through a lens of rationality and exactitude. He demanded flawlessness in every action and computation. However, upon his return, his analytical mind was confronted with inquiries that could not be resolved by equations. Standing on a foreign planet, how does one maintain their sense of humanity? Does the act of exploring serve any purpose if it merely highlights our constraints? Years later, Aldrin's words still carry the lingering questions. His thoughts are filled with contemplation and determination. He believes that the mission is an ongoing journey. Even though the rocket engines have ceased and the moon is far away, the quest for understanding within the vast emptiness persists. What sort of world could render a man speechless? A world so eerie that even moments of success seemed empty. Aldrin found the moon to be a mixture of beauty and pain. It was not the shimmering, gentle object people thought it to be. Instead, it was desolate and weathered, devoid of life. It may have been beautiful, but it held a chilling aura. Later on, he reflected on the experience using the phrase, "magnificent desolation," a stark contrast that highlighted how success can sometimes feel hollow and lonely. Aldrin described the moon's terrain as a sprawling expanse of dull gray dust beneath a starless black sky. To him, it felt like being engulfed in an eternity of darkness. The lack of any sound or movement added to the overwhelming stillness that seemed to weigh down on his thoughts. Silence is a rarity on Earth, as we are always enveloped by the sounds of nature and human activity. However, on the moon, Aldrin and Armstrong experienced a profound stillness, unlike anything they had ever encountered. The absence of familiar sounds made even their own actions feel unfamiliar. Their communication through radios only added to the eerie emptiness of their surroundings. Aldrin found the quiet more impactful than any noise he had ever heard. In the motionless cold, he experienced a new understanding of solitude in the cosmos. He found the lack of life on the moon to be less surprising than the unexpected feeling of respect it evoked. The emptiness of the moon wasn't just void, it was revered for its purity. Each action they performed as the first humans to set foot on the moon felt significant in disrupting a world that had remained untouched for eternity. He once pondered that the ground beneath their feet held not just dust, but a profound cosmic history. The particles beneath their shoes had been present for the formation of the solar system, observing the intricate ballet of creation. However, there was a gentle sorrow attached to that sanctity. The perspective that brought pride to everyone filled Aldrin with a sense of modesty. As he gazed back at Earth, a tiny blue and white sphere suspended in a vast sea of darkness, he observed nothing but a sense of vulnerability. With no boundaries or nations visible, just how insignificant humanity's disputes and desires appeared from such a distant vantage point. He once expressed the feeling like he was viewing our house from the perspective of the entire universe. Aldrin experienced a range of emotions on the moon, not just spiritual ones, but also physical sensations. The landscape of the moon seemed to deceive his senses, making the horizon appear closer than reality, and casting shadows that were sharper and darker than anticipated. The overall color scheme of the surroundings was a dull gray, giving off a cold feeling. The sunlight was harsh and glaring, lacking the gentle warmth provided by Earth's atmosphere. Aldrin had to carefully calculate each step and movement, with a need for deliberate thought and control. This place was not meant for leisure activities. It was all about staying alive. Now, as new explorers prepare to return to the moon, guided not by heart but by machines and algorithms, one question remains. Will they see what Aldrin saw? Will they feel the same awe, the same silence, the same smallness that reminded him what it truly means to be alive when machines dream of the moon? 50 years later, as Buzz Aldrin looked out at the barren landscape of the moon, it is now filled with curiosity once more. This time, it is not just humans investigating its mysteries, but also artificial intelligence, robotic explorers, and machine learning technology. These non-human entities are delving into the same craters Aldrin once traversed, revealing hidden secrets that have been buried for years under layers of dust and quietness. Aldrin saw the moon as a reflection of human fragility and insignificance, while AI views it as a complex mystery of numerical information. Despite their different perspectives, they both share a common quest for significance. The Apollo missions returned with rocks, pictures, and souvenirs. Today's researchers have a new tool at their disposal that the early explorers did not have: the ability to unveil the invisible. The Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, through advanced algorithms, can now accurately map the moon's terrain. These sophisticated systems delve into minerals, scrutinize subtle shadows for signs of water ice, and determine the age of ancient craters. The previously dull and colorless has now been transformed into a vibrant source of knowledge. In the year 2023, NASA's Advanced Artificial Intelligence System, Lunar Vision AI, sifted through countless images to identify cold traps, areas in shadow that have possibly preserved ancient ice for billions of years. This concealed ice holds the potential to support future space explorers, power spacecrafts, and unveil secrets about the origins of our solar system. The objective goes beyond simply extending our reach into the cosmos. It is also about gaining insight into our role within it. According to a scientist, the exploration of outer space is ingrained in the human essence, yet its true significance lies in how the knowledge acquired benefits our planet. While it is unlikely that we will all inhabit the moon or Mars, each revelation made in space has the potential to positively impact our world. Other countries are getting involved in the modern era of exploring the moon. For example, Japan's SLIM lander and India's Chandrayaan-3 mission utilized AI navigation systems to safely land on the lunar surface with precise accuracy. These advanced machines are now capable of making split-second decisions in the challenging and uncertain environment of outer space, a task previously reserved for courageous astronauts. The moon, which was previously explored through bravery, physical strength, and human intuition, is now being re-explored by intelligent machines that operate silently and swiftly. These machines share a common ambition with humans despite their superior thinking speed. In a surprising turn of events, These algorithms are mimicking the path taken by Aldrin. When artificial intelligence maps out the terrain of the Sea of Tranquility, it is analyzing the exact location where Aldrin and Armstrong once landed, the Moon's hidden heart. Today, the way we perceive the Moon holds more significance than the actual discoveries we make on its surface. It has evolved from being labeled as a barren landscape by Buzz Aldrin to becoming a repository of our collective past. The Moon is no longer just a lifeless world of dust and rocks, but a rich archive waiting to be explored by both human intellect and artificial intelligence. Machines do not possess the ability to experience amazement or astonishment. They do not quiver in fear when observing the Earth shining softly in the vast darkness of space. However, with their rational and flawless reasoning, artificial intelligence is revealing revelations that mirror the sentiments Buzz Aldrin once held in his core, that the Moon is not lifeless, but brimming with significance. Recent research utilizing AI-enhanced tools has unveiled an intriguing discovery. On the surface of the Moon, there are small volcanic glass beads left over from ancient eruptions. By employing sophisticated analysis techniques, researchers have found indications of water within these beads. This implies that the Moon's core could possibly retain volatile substances, remnants of long-ago activity and energy. What Aldrin once perceived as merely quiet dust may, in fact, tell the tale of the Earth's origins. Surprisingly, the Moon may not only revolve around our planet, but also retain its history. Artificial neural networks have recently brought to light an unexpected discovery by re-examining seismic data from the Apollo missions. This revelation suggests that the Moon's core may not be as frozen as previously thought, but instead partially molten. This goes against the long-standing belief that the Moon was completely lifeless and motionless. The newfound information offers a fresh perspective on the Moon, revealing it as a celestial body that may still have some vitality in a subtle, subdued manner. These discoveries go beyond just scientific breakthroughs. They serve as cues that the Moon remains a mysterious entity, beckoning those willing to uncover its secrets. When Aldrin gazed upon the quiet lunar landscape, he experienced a mix of emotions, a sense of accomplishment for mankind's feat, yet a tinge of sadness for the mystery that continues to elude us. Years have passed, yet the mystery of the Moon only grows, not from mere speculation, but from concrete data. However, it is intriguing to consider Aldrin's perspective on the situation. Would he view these technological advancements as an evolution in the ongoing human saga, or as evidence that emotions and logic can coexist harmoniously? Aldrin has frequently emphasized the importance of the human spirit in exploration, suggesting that technology alone is insufficient. While machines may facilitate our journeys, they lack the ability to experience the true significance of reaching our destination. The fact remains valid. Artificial intelligence has the capability to chart out each crater, assess every shadow, and replicate every speck of dust with remarkable precision. However, it is incapable of experiencing the coldness of being beneath a starless sky. It cannot sense the delicate pulse of Earth shining in the far-off horizon. It cannot comprehend the profound sense of wonder that caused Aldrin to cry. Despite its impressive abilities, AI lacks the essential trait that sets humans apart: consciousness. However, there is a certain attractiveness in the recent collaboration between humans and machines. As a team, AI and humanity are constructing a connection through time. While machines collect data, we provide significance to it. As they analyze the arrangement of the Moon, our emotions narrate its history. This is where science and spirituality converge, both contributing to what the other initiated. Possibly, Aldrin's statement, "The Moon is not what you think," extended beyond just the physical features he observed. It could have been a reflection on the limitations of knowledge, suggesting that despite our efforts to quantify everything, there are aspects that remain unknowable. Certain truths cannot be fully captured through data or permanent symbols. They are instead experienced through moments of quiet contemplation, awe, and the ever-changing link between our identities and origins. What do you think about Aldrin's confession? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more celebrity gist. Before you go, watch the other videos on your screen.